बलिहारी वह दूध की जामिन करेगी, वह बलिहारी वह दूध की जामिन करेगी, वह आधी साखी कबीर की चारों वेदों का जीव, साखी आखी ज्ञान की समूझी, देखो मन माही, साखी आखी ज्ञान की समूझी, देखो मन माही, बिन साखी संसार का झगड़ा छूटत नहीं, बिन साखी संसार का झगड़ा छूटत नहीं, पोथी पढ़ी पढ़ी, पोथी पढ़ी पढ़ी, जगमुआ पंडित भला न कोई, ढाई आखर प्रेम का पढ़े सो पंडित फुलवा धारना ले सके, फुलवा धारना ले सके, कह सखियन सुनो, जो जो भीजे कामरी, त्यो त्यो भारी हो, आ आ त्यो त्यो भारी हो, सुखिया सब संसार है, सुखिया सब संसार है, खाए और सोए, दुखिया दास कबीर है, दुखिया दास कबीर है, जागे और रोए, पद बाणउर अंतर लागे जाग प्यारी जाग प्यारी जाग प्यारी अब का सोए रह न गई दिन का को खोवे जाग प्यारी जाग प्यारी जाग प्यारी.
Namaskar everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Today we will specifically be presenting compositions that Mandar himself has composed. He's a classical vocalist and he composes as well. And what we'll try and also do is share a bit about the journey of composing some of these works of Kabir and a lot of other saints as well. We'll be singing Raidas a lot today. You will hear his works a lot, Paltu Das also. And he will be primarily sharing his journey of composing. But how we stumbled upon this work, all these works actually is very interesting, is that these were not necessarily deliberate efforts to research or to study, but these were found when there were moments in our lives where we were probably looking for a few answers maybe to the questions that we were asking at that moment. So that's how we've come to these compositions. And as Mandar will share in his journey of composing, that some of these have been now composed over a period of 10 to 12 years also. So it's not something that has been set together as a thematic program with a particular purpose and with research. Also, you will notice today that a lot of the times we will sort of communicate with each other because on the stage through our eyes primarily, because again here on the stage nothing is going to be set. We've not decided exactly how many variations, who's doing what exactly when. So that's how this event is going to flow, much like how these compositions were introduced to us.
So we started with singing a few couplets of Sant Kabir. It's very important to understand what Kabir himself said about what he wrote and who he was. So the first doha was बलिहारी वह दूध की जामे निकरे घीव आधी साखी कबीर की चारों वेदों का जीव. It's a very powerful statement. He's saying that ghee or everyone knows ghee, we associate ghee with quality, with health. It doesn't perish. So ghee is something which is in a way eternal, and it's there in our families for so many years. But it comes from milk. And Kabir is saying like that, even half of my line, even half line of my couplet, it has gist of all the four Vedas. So he's saying, I have lived it, I have experienced it. And whatever I'm saying is actually like the gist of what is said, in Vedas, in scriptures or wherever, what gurus teach. I have been through all and now these are my condensed words for it. Then he says, Sakhi Akhi Gyan Ki Samuji Dekhu Manamahi. So he's saying that my lines, my words are like eyes of wisdom. Akhi Gyan Ki. Samuji Dekhu Manamahi. And when you understand, when you relate with it, when you feel it, don't go outside and start preaching. But look in your mind. Dekho Manamahi. Binu Sakhi Sansar ka jhagara chutat nahi. And he says that unless this process happens, that you get some wisdom somewhere, not in Kabir's words only. It's there anywhere. But with those eyes, you have to first look within yourself. And you have to see, whether it stands out, doesn't stand out, and all of that. And then you are ready in a way to talk to people. Then the next one is very famous actually. Poti padi padi jagamuva pandit bhaya na koi. He's saying that dhai akhar prem, kind of 2.5 syllables of love. The one who understands, one who has experienced that is actually a pandit, in true sense. Then he says, Fulava bhara na lai sake kahe sakhiya na so roye, jo jo bhije kamari tyo tyo bhari hoy. So he's describing the nature of our soul. He says, Fulava bhara na lai sake. It's so light and so fragile that it cannot withstand weight of even a flower. Fulava bhara na lai sake. And it's crying to everyone, ki, see, I'm so light. But in this world, it lives like a blanket soaked in water. So it's saying that your true nature is so light and in a way so fragile, but your desires, your greed, your ambitions, you soak yourself with all of that and you become so heavy and then so sad in this world. Then he says, Sukhiya sab sansar hai, khaye aur soye, Dukhiya das Kabir hai, jage aur roye. Now, the line before he says, the one who is indulged is the one in sorrow. But now he is saying, Sukhiya sab sansar hai, the entire world is happy, khaye aur soye, eats and sleeps. And I am Dukhi, Kabir is Dukhi, is awake and crying. So he is hinting towards the process of that eternal joy which is like ghee. So first you have to let that milk go to make ghee. The milk will go bad to get the ghee. And he's saying that you will have to let go this apparent joy, that you are getting. You will have to cry first. You will have to stay awake. And only after staying awake, you will get Jina Jaga Tina Manika Paya. The next bhajan that we sang, Jaga Piyari Abakya Sove, he says, Jina Jaga Tina Manika Paya. Manik is again a diamond or a stone, which is again, lasts for centuries. So he says, be awake and be aware. That's the only way. So, yeah, we will move to the next one. Next one is also from Kabir, and I will share a little bit of context before we sing, so that when you listen to the bhajan, you can connect with the words. He's saying, Mohe suna suna ave hasi. When I hear this, I laugh. What does he hear? Pani mein meen pyasi. The fish in the water is thirsty. He's saying, if a fish in water says, I'm thirsty, we will laugh. He's saying, all you people are like that. You are surrounded by divinity, and yet you are searching for it here and there. Then he says, Atma Jnana bina narabhatake koi mathura koi kashi. People go here and there seeking, searching and all. And he's saying, you just have to look within and you will get many answers there. Without that, all that roaming around is not going to help. So we'll present that. लौट के, कोई मथुरा कोई काशी, कोई मथुरा कोई काशी। मिर्गा नाव भी बसे कस्तूरी, मिर्गा नाव भी बसे कस्तूरी। बन बन फिरत उदासी, मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी, मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी। जल बीच कमल, कमल बीच कलिया, जल बीच कमल, कमल बीच कलिया। तापर भवर निवासी, तापर भवर निवासी। तामन बसे त्रैलोक्य भयो है, तामन बसे त्रैलोक्य भयो है। यति सती और सन्यासी, मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी, मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी। है हाजिर तेहि दूर बतावे, है हाजिर तेहि दूर बतावे। दूर की बात निरासी, दूर की बात निरासी। कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो। गुरु बिना धर्म न जासी, मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी, मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी। पानी में मीन प्यासी, पानी में मीन प्यासी। मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी, मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी, मोहे सुन सुनावे हासी।
The last line, if you notice, the words were है हाजिर तेहि दूर बताए, दूर की बात निरासी. So what Kabir is saying is that, what is immediate, you say that is far away, and the moment you bring distance, it's दूर की बात निरासी. So there is going to set in a certain sadness, laziness, and all of that. And because of that, you become like that fish in water. It's right here, but you want to look at it, as if it's far off somewhere.
So I think what many saints have said, in different terminology, different languages, at different time periods, is one very fundamental thing. It can be summarized as ripening and falling of a fruit. So there are two things. One is the fruit has to ripen and then it will fall. So if a fruit is not yet ready to fall and if it breaks down, that's not going to help. So basically what saints are saying, everywhere, and we will come across more such compositions, is that one is you cannot be impatient on this path. Because that process will take its own time. Like Kabir says, "Dhire dhire re mana dhire sab kuch hoye, mali siche 100 ghada ritu aaye phal hoye." You can give 100 jugs of water to a plant, but it will grow when it has to grow. So I think what they hint is one thing that you can only do is live your life with a lot of awareness. Just see what is happening. Just see how you are engaging. Just see how your ego, how your greed, how your desires come in action when you are living your life. So that is one part of it. And then after that, that fruit will fall. When it will fall, that's not in your control. That fall, it's a grace. If it's a self-controlled process, sons would not have sung bhakti. Kabir has said a lot about yogic kriya also. There are many compositions where he talks about Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, Kundalini and all of that. But after saying all of that, he still calls himself Dasa Kabir. And I think that says a lot about what is the place of these practices in the entire process. They just help you to ripen. But that fall, we never know when it's going to come. So until then, we have to live the life. And that's why he's saying, कि है हाजिर ते ये दूर बतावे दूर कि no, you have to work. That ripening process has to start. Don't postpone it. And that's the gist of this composition.
And this actually beautifully brings us to the next composition, because the next composition talks about, it's by Sant Dyaneshwar, and Dyaneshwar here is particularly talking about the dual nature of things, where he's saying that you are as a form, you are the form, you are also the formless, you are expressed, you are also the unexpressed. And by that he's hinting towards something that Mandar just beautifully said, is that whatever appeals to you, whatever your path looks like, whatever you choose as your practice, you do that, because in everything, no matter how poles apart some ideas may look to you, they will still lead you to the same divinity if you practice, if you follow that path with devotion and with deep interest.
It's like Google Maps. Once you create distance you have to travel, then it will give you, this is one route, that is one route. And then Dyaneshwar is saying, don't fight over routes. Just start walking. You will reach where you want to reach. Now, when saints write something, there is a lot of, I won't say deliberate thought, but somehow it becomes a very perfect reflection of reality. So if you see works of many of the saints, they are very repetitive in nature. Like what we sang just now, it's so repetitive. So vyakta manu ki, are you form with form or formless? Are you big or are you small? Are you two or are you one? And all of that. I think that also signifies Kabir's point, you know, कि ढाई आखर प्रेम का. There is nothing much to learn and know also in a way. It's all same thing, you know. So we have to just, it's like how we feed medicine to babies, you know. Sometimes we'll give it with milk, then with sugar, then with honey. Then we might have to force mouth open and just shove it through. All of that has to be done, and saints keep doing all of that, you know, in their works. So it's very interesting how all of that reflects in their poetry.
I mean, at this point in time, I actually want to ask Mandar to share a little bit about your process of composing some of these works. And the reason why I'm saying this is before we present the next composition, because I know that that particular composition, it did take quite some time to compose, and it also many times I have personally noticed this, that he sits with two lines, they get composed, and then it's like after a year or just before a program, then they are composed, the rest of those. So I would want you to share a little bit about that.
So I think the first very important thing about any composition is that it has to relate to you at that point of time, what you are going through at that point of time. Because though it's that same truth, which can be contained in 2.5 syllables, it manifests in the world in so many different ways, in form of so many experiences for us. And I think that experience that you are going through and what you come across as a poetry, if it matches instantly, then something happens at that point. Second thing is, on another level, we are learning ragas, we are learning compositions, we are improvising, we are doing alap and all of that. While doing that, you come across some small phrases or some small combinations of notes which actually say a lot. Like this, just 2-3 notes, it says something to you. What it says will depend on every person, what they are experiencing. Again, how we are made, how our pot is shaped. Based on that, it will depend how that water takes shape inside us. But over the years, you accumulate a lot of such vocabulary, of phrases that want to talk, that have something to talk. And then at some point, these two roads cross. And then, something happens again. So I think it's creativity at multiple levels, and again, which is not a forced creativity. So there are many compositions which are deliberately written, for some purpose at some point in time. But you also forget them after that happens. That doesn't stick to you for a lifetime. So when all these forces come together, all these things happen simultaneously, then something worth remembering happens. Like what we are going to present now, Ab main nacho bahut gopal, mahamoha ke nupura hi bajat ninda sabad rasal. What Surdas is saying is that now I have danced enough. Main nacho bahut gopal. I have danced a lot in this world with accompaniment of mahamoha ke nupura. The gungrus on which I am dancing, they are gungrus of mahamoha. So I cannot handle this moha. I don't know where it comes from. It's not me. That moha is so big. That greed is so big. It's beyond a person. Mahamoha ke nupura hi bajata ninda sabad rasal. And the lyrics of my dance, on which I am dancing, it's all poetry of hatred. How I am hating everyone around me. If something good happens, I start hating them. So, but see, he's being so honest. He has written it on his name when people are saying he's a saint, and he's saying ki mahamoha ke nupura hi bajata ninda sabad rasal aba main nacho bahut gopal. He's saying, I don't want to dance more, end this music and take this gungru and everything away. Then he says Suradasa ki sabai avidya. So he's saying this is not me, but this is my avidya. Suradasa ki sabai avidya haralijo nandalal. So he says it's not going to happen by me doing something. You have to take it away. So I think when you come across such words and you are experiencing something like that in your life, and if you're honest about it, then you are bound to do something with those words. No? They cannot just sit like that. And many times then you have the words, you are touched by the words, but you don't have the musical vocabulary to express it. Then what you do? Then you have to keep ripening yourself. Then you will ripe maybe for that much, you will ripe after 2 years, after 3 years, then it moves forward. So I think it's all like that. अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल, 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 अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल। महामोह के नुपुर की बाजत, महामोह के नुपुर की बाजत, निंदा सब दरसाल प्रभु जी, अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल। महामोह के नुपुर ही बाजत, महामोह के नुपुर ही बाजत, निंदा सब दरसाल प्रभु जी, अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल, अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल। सूरदास की सब अविद्या, सूरदास की सब अविद्या, हर ली जो नंदलाल प्रभु जी, हर ली जो नंदलाल प्रभु जी, अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल, अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल। महामोह के नुपुर ही बाजत, महामोह के नुपुर ही बाजत, निंदा सब दरसाल प्रभु जी, अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल, अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल, अब मैं नाचूं बहुत गोपाल।
The next composition that will be presenting is also very similar to what Surdas is saying. The lyrics are क्या मांगू कछु थीर न रहाई, देखत नयन जरे जग जाई. So the request one is making here is that what should I then ask? Now this is how I'm attached. This is how I'm being brought down by the Mahamoha. So then what do I do? What do I ask for? And what we hear in this composition is actually a very specific example. And the example is of Ravana. How was life of Ravana, and what does that really teach us? It teaches us that no matter, it says that, he had ekalakha puta savalakha nati. So he had such community, he had this family. But ta Ravana dhara diyana bati. There was nobody that who could show the light to Ravana. So this is a very interesting composition that actually presents the story of Ravana, and then it moves towards asking whatever that eternal is.
So basically, Kabir is saying, be careful what you ask for because we'll get it. And that's why he's saying, what should you ask? Because nothing is going to stay with you. Just remember that and then decide what you want to ask. क्या मांगू कछु थीर न रहाई, क्या मांगू कछु थीर न रहाई, देखत नयन जरे जग जाए, क्या मांगू कछु थीर न रहाई, देखत नयन जरे जग जाए, क्या मांगू। लंका सुकूट समद सिखाए, लंका सुकूट समद सिखाए, रावण का खबर न पाई, क्या मांगू कछु थीर न रहाई। आवत संग न जावत संगाती, आवत संग न जावत संगाती, कर बंधे हाथी, क्या मांगू कछु थीर न रहाई। एक लख पूत सवा लख नाती, एक लख पूत सवा लख नाती, रावण धर पियान बाती, क्या मांगू कछु थीर न रहाई। कहत कबीर अंत की बारी, कहत कबीर अंत की बारी, झड़ी जैसे चले जुआरी, क्या मांगू कछु थीर न रहाई, देखत नयन जरे जग जाए, क्या मांगू। Now, we initially spoke about what it feels when you are ready, you are ripened, but you are not falling. What do you do then? You know, like a Jivan Mukta person, like he has settled the balance, the score is settled, but still is not falling down. So what that person goes through? So next composition is actually talking about a similar phase in life of a saint. Again, Raidas. So Raidas was Kabir's Guru Bandhu. Kabir and Raidas, they both learned from same Guru. So their Guru, Swami Ramanand, he had many disciples and Raidas was one of them. And a story goes that when Meera was looking for a Guru and when she came to Kashi, Varanasi in search of a Guru, she met Kabir and Raidas. Like she did an interview with both of them, and she selected Raidas as her Guru over Kabir. So I think what I like about Raidas is that his poetry is very alive, and it's very beautiful. Like sometimes composing Kabir can be a bit challenging because it would not fall in a meter maybe every time, or sometimes the feeling and emotion is so much of detachment that one feels as can we sing detachment? You'll sing something if you're attached to something. How can you sing something if you're detached? Stay silent. Why are you singing? In a way. But in Raidas, you feel like singing with Raidas. You will feel like singing, dancing, sharing the pain, joy, whatever, So I think that's the beauty of his words. This is a very, very
yeah, this is the freshest of the lot. So
सकल शिरोमणि सकल निरंजन प्रीति सुधामणि आवो रे प्रीति सुधामणि आवो रे तेजस रूपी सकल शिरोमणि तेजस रूपी सकल शिरोमणि सकल निरंजन प्रेम कबहु नहीं पायो करनी को न बिसारी करनी को न बिसारी चक को ध्यान कभी सुख सो है चक को ध्यान कभी सुख सो है यूं तुम ते में न्यारी प्रीति सुधामणि आवो रे प्रीति सुधामणि आवो घोर भयो मोहि कटक जोवत घोर भयो मोहि कटक जोवत तड़फत रजनी जाई तड़फत रजनी जाई पिया बिन से जही का सुख सो, पिया बिन से जही का सुख सो, विरह बिथा तन खाई, प्रीति सुधामणि आवो रे, प्रीति सुधामणि दुहाग सुहागन कीजे, मेट दुहाग सुहागन कीजे, अपने अंग लगाई, अपने अंग लगाई, कह रैदास स्वामी तै बिछुरे, कह रैदास स्वामी तै बिछुरे, कपलक जुग जाई, प्रीति सुधामणि आवो रे, प्रीति सुधामणि आवो रे, तेज स्वरूपी सकल शिरोमणि, तेज स्वरूपी सकल शिरोमणि, सकल निरंजन रे, प्रीति सुधामणि आवो रे, प्रीति सुधामणि, प्रीति सुधामणि, प्रीति सुधामणि आवो. Now imagine the fruit is waiting to unite with the earth below, with the ground, and Raidas is equating that as a separation from beloved. So he's saying, Bhora bhayo mohi ikatak jovat. All the night has passed and the sun has come up and you are just looking at me. Apane anga lagai, when you are going to hug me and when our bodies are going to unite. Kahe Raidas Swami te bichure. Raidas is saying, I am separated from my master. Ek palak jug jai. So just fraction of a second is like a yuga. And that's the separation, that he's going through, but he's expressing it so beautifully and so joyously actually. So it's not also pain, but I don't know how to describe that feeling, but it's really something.
Another thing I think what I particularly enjoy also in Mandar's composition, and you may have also noticed this in all these compositions, is that the lines that repeat themselves are called Dhruvapad, and the tune for it is of a kind. And then there are stanzas that come one after the other, which are either examples or explanations. And what I have noticed as a peculiarity of his compositions is that he does not necessarily always change the tunes of the stanzas. So, which I find, I mean, you use your resources very carefully in some sense, is what I feel, because I think you maintain the emotion of the entire composition and you work with that. So there are very, very few compositions of his I've noticed is that where each line or two lines one after the other will have a different tune in that sense. Do you have any thought around that if you would like to share?
So I think we are very much used to excess of everything, and that actually numbs us down, So one of our mentors described what addiction means. So he said, when you need more of something to get same amount of joy and pleasure, it means you are addicted to that thing. So same quantity does not suffice, you need more potency. And it has happened with music also, the music that we listen, it's very potent, it's actually very disturbing in a way, in positive ways also, in negative ways also. But we don't get moved by it, So as like Krishnamurti used to say, just that sunset is enough if you watch it rightly. Just a flower is enough if you watch it properly. I think in that way, to communicate to justice, to do justice to the words, a very simple melodic structure is enough. Like, if you stay in a place which is very complex to stay, accidents will happen and so many things will happen. We don't feel at home also. There are some places where you don't feel like sitting. you feel distracted because there is too much happening. The architects call them busy spaces. I have heard from my architect friends. So there are many compositions which are very busy compositions. So much is changing that you cannot flow with it in a way. So another thing that someone has told us is that if a river flows too fast, it destroys everything on its banks. If a river doesn't flow, it becomes stagnant. So what you need is a very nice, consistent flow, and then everything flourishes with that flow. So I strive to get that flow in the compositions. I won't say I'm successful, but that's what I aspire for. So yeah. So since we heard a composition from Raidas, we are going to sing some couplets of Sant Raidas. And again, look at the intensity of words and feelings. It doesn't have any percussion with it, they're just free flowing words. So we'll just sing them and then we'll talk a bit about them. जो सुधर आवत पीव की जो सुधर आवत पीव की विरह उठत तन लाग विरह उठत तन लाग जो चूने की का करिया जो छिटके अमृत रस एक बूंद को अमृत रस एक बूंद को तरफत दिन रैदास अमीरस बिन पिए जियरा न पावे चैन कोयल तरसे आंब को कोयल तरसे आंब को चातक तरसे नीर रैदास लोचे दरस को प्राण परत नाही रैदास मोरे मन लागियो रैदास मोरे मन लागियो राम प्रेम को तीर राम such a nuanced poetry. Generally, they will say, ki, okay, if you are burning, get some water. But he's saying, I'm like a pile of lime. Once you sprinkle water on it, it turns into fire. So I'm like that. So water is not also going to help me. So, like, I don't know how they use these metaphors, these imagery, these icons to convey so intense emotions and feelings, and I think it's humanly impossible to do it unless you go through it. And I think that's the reason these words have stayed alive for centuries, for 500 years, 800 years, 1000 years, people are still singing those words. And I think that's where we as musicians, we bow down, that we have such words to sing, I think, and we consider ourselves very fortunate for that. Next composition is from a saint called Sant Paltu Das. So actually Paltu means to turn 180 degrees, to flip completely. So generally it's a negative word, you will use this word palat gaya wo to. Someone is friend and suddenly ditches you, and then you would say ki ye Paltu Das hai. But in case of this Paltu, he turned and he, like we change our clothes, he changed himself. And that's why his guru named him Paltu Das. He's saying, ab to main bairag bhari, sovat se main jagi pari. I'm filled with bairag, because I have woken up. As Kabir said, Dukhiya das Kabir jage aur roye. Same language, same words, same examples. He's saying, Naina bane giri ke jharna jo. My eyes have become like waterfalls in the mountains. Endless. It's just pouring and pouring and pouring. There is no end to it. Mukh se nikale hari hari. Abharana todi vasana de faru. I have got rid of all my... And these things mean something very different. By abharana, he's talking about things we take pride in, our knowledge. Our knowledge is also like abhushan. We say vidya sabse bada abhushan hota hai. So he's saying, I'm throwing that also. Because now that is also becoming an obstacle. That is also not helping me. Abharana todi vasana de faru. Papi jivanahi jat mari. This jiv, it's just not ending. Like the fruit is saying, I'm not falling. Now I'm ripened, let me fall. That same emotion and same feeling.
Also, this is another new one. in some of the compositions that we presented, you must have noticed that there is a reference of a guru and specifically a Satguru most of the times. And I think it's important to share this, that when you are in the process of living life, a lot of the times what we do is we imitate, and there is a great joy and value in that imitation that happens, and we all do it. I think, unlike a lot of the times that we like to believe that we do things on our own, a lot of the times we are actually following the path of someone else, where someone else is showing us. And that's why these references keep coming. A lot of these saints keep acknowledging that they are not somebody necessarily who just suddenly realized something just on their own, out of the blue. Things have not necessarily always revealed themselves. But what has happened is they have tried following someone particularly, and that following has led to a realization. And it's beautiful that how the word Shraddha in Sanskrit means that you follow with faith, and you follow till a point where you can actually see the water. So your guru is somebody who is walking that path and showing you where water is. All you have to do is you walk with the faith that that will lead to water. And when you see it, you actually have to leave it also. So that's the beauty of a lot of these compositions where these references come.
साहिब सो सब होत है, साहिब सो सब होत है, बंदे से कछु ना Kabir is saying that I cannot be separate from you because a diamond cannot be broken. जैसे हीर फोरे न फूटे, मोही तो ही लागे. So our bond, our relation is, we are one diamond, you know. We cannot be broken apart. And he's just saying that, you know, it's my illusion that I think I am separate from you. And he's saying I'm just, that illusion has to go. But it will go whenever it has to go. But now I know for sure that I am not separate from you. And he says, Sahib so sab hota hai, bande se kachu nahi, rai so parvat kare, parvat rai mai. So he's saying that everything is done by you. You can make a mountain out of a mustard, and you can fit entire mountain in a mustard. So you do all of that. You know? So we are almost at 8:25. I don't know if we can stretch by 5-10 minutes or what, how it's like. So we'll present two last compositions, and after that.
So the next composition that we'll be presenting is of the similar nature. Kabir is saying that Isaghata antara baga bagiche. And so everything is within me. I don't have to look out. I don't have to go anywhere. And whatever I need is right here. Whatever that's beautiful is right here.
Now we'll present the last composition, which says, हम वासी उस देश के जहाँ 12 मास विलास. So Kabir is saying, I reside in that kshetra, in that place where there is vilas. Vilas basically means there is abundance. Abundance of joy, abundance of whatever you seek, you have it. So he's saying, I am in now that land. I have settled there. Prema jhare vikase kavala. So there are waterfalls of love everywhere. So see, the first term that he uses to describe that land is love. So he's saying prema jhare. He's not saying ki you will find yogis meditating, thousands of yogis meditating here and there. He's saying prema jhare. The love is flowing everywhere. Vikase kavala. This is again, the kaval means the Sahasrar chakra. He mentions that as a second point. So he says first you need love, then you need meditation. Prema jhare vikase kavala teja punja prakash. And there is just light, nothing else. So, and the last line is again very beautiful. He says, Deepak jare agamyaka bina bati bina tel. So he's saying, I am here, but that doesn't mean I know. And that's why he's saying, Deepak jare agamyaka. This is still agamya. I have not understood anything. I have not learnt anything. I have not gathered any information. So that is still unknown to me, but I am happy with that. Deepak jare agamyaka, and that agamya is inside this body. Bina bati bina tel. There is no oil, there is no wick. That jyoti, it's just burning. So if the body goes, it will go. That jyoti will go somewhere else. That jyoti doesn't need a wick, that jyoti doesn't need any oil.
We will not be speaking after presenting this composition. So we just like to express our heartfelt thank to the Bangalore International Center and everybody who's been here in the audience, who've graciously listened to whatever we've been saying all this while.
But we
Thank you
can
very
talk
much.
later informally.
Yes,
we
we
won't
can
talk means we won't talk from here. So
Yeah.
we can of course talk with each
Yeah,
other.
so it'll be nice to meet all of you, and we won't speak anything after this on the stage. Thank you.
वासी उस देश के, हम वासी उस देश के, जहाँ पर ब्रह्म का खेल, पर ब्रह्म का खेल, दीपक जरे आगम्य का, दीपक जरे आगम्य का, बिन बाकी बिनती, बिन बाकी बिनती, हम वासी उस देश